Hey, my name is Royce Ard, also known as the High Tech House Cleaner. And I want to welcome you to the Maid Summit. I also want to thank Amar and all the folks over at ZenMaid for putting this on. It's just another tremendous summit for all the house cleaning owners around the world. And I want to talk to you today about how to create a pricing system for your business. My wife and I have owned our cleaning business since 2013. And soon after we got started, we realized the only way that we would be able to grow would be if other people, other than one of the owners, could do estimates or quotes for new cleanings. So we knew we had to develop a system. And so I looked at a lot of systems that were out there, and I wanted to try to find the simplest system possible. So we ended up developing a pricing system that's based on square footage, and it has really worked well. We've tested it several times just to make sure that it continues to work as we had hoped it would, and it does. Our pricing is dead on, it's very accurate, and I hope that you'll be able to use this same type pricing system for your business. And once you get it dialed in, I think you'll also be extremely happy with how it helps you always quote the same price every time for your clients and frees you up from having to go out and do in-home estimates. So if you go on any Facebook group for house cleaners, it seems like the most asked question is, what would you charge to clean this home? What would you charge to clean a 3,500 square foot house? And the responses are just all across the board, okay? Because the respondents are from everywhere. They're from Seattle or from Washington, D.C., two of the highest price markets in the country, or they're from Topeka, Kansas. Maybe that's a little bit lesser price market. And so the prices that are quoted are all across the board, and I don't really see how they're very helpful for the person who was really just had a question on what to charge a new client. So what I wanted to do was to share the pricing model that we had developed, because it works really well in instances like this where you know the square footage of the house. Now, an objective pricing system is one that's going to always deliver the same price for the same house, no matter who does the pricing. And that's what we have developed with this system. So it doesn't matter if someone calls in, if they use the tool that we have on our website, or if we do go out and see them personally, they're always going to get the same price. And that's one of the best ways to do that. This is also a great way to be able to offer a flat rate pricing model and it be accurate and you be protected. And so I'm going to go over that with you. But the key to this is you do need to know the square footage of the home. And there are a few ways that you can find this that are very accurate. Fortunately, the counties and all of the states put that data out for other folks to use. So we typically use Zillow.com, and you just enter the address and it will show you the square footage that's in the tax records in the county. And that square footage tends to be very accurate because that's what you're paying your taxes on. So there's other ones. You can use Realtor.com, and I think there's other ones as well. But we typically use Zillow. But you can just do a Google search for a particular address, and you'll see all the different websites that have that address listed and that list square footage. So it's very easy to find square footage, once you start using a model like this. And we just do it while we have the client on the phone if they've called in. So you are going to need some data about your business in order to develop a pricing system. And the first one is, what's your target hourly rate? And I'm going to go into some of the factors that you need to look at when you're developing what your hourly rate is. How many square feet you can clean an hour? This is a key part of this pricing system. And then what is your pricing strategy? So, for recurring cleanings, are you going to discount weekly cleanings? How much are you going to charge for monthly cleanings versus biweekly cleanings? So you have to have a pricing strategy. Next is, what types of one-time cleanings do you offer? Are you just going to offer, a spring cleaning type package, or like a deep cleaning package, or are you going to also offer something that's a little bit lesser, like just includes dusting, for instance? And then same with move in and move out cleanings. Are you going to offer multiple packages or just one? And then last is, what is the minimum price that you're willing to charge? Okay. And this is important because once you do have a calculator that will determine what the price is, you need to understand, are you willing to go out and do the cleaning at that price, or do you need to have a minimum price that you upcharge, to? So these are all factors that you're going to have to understand and develop as you're developing your pricing system. Now, first, let's talk a little bit about how to determine your target hourly rate. And we're not going to develop it here, but I'm going to give you some factors that go into figuring out what your target hourly rate is or what it should be. The first thing is market research. What are others charging? Okay. Now, how do you do market research when you're a small business? Well, you pick up the phone and you call your competition. That's the easiest way to do it, because you can give them a particular home that you know how long it takes you to clean, or you know the square footage of. And in our example, we're going to use a 2,100 square foot house. So I would call my competition and I'd say, I've got a 2,100 square foot house. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, whatever. And I would go through with them and see what they charge. Okay. Now, if you don't think people are doing the same thing to you, they are. Okay. So, it's just part of doing business is, being able to go out and do market research with your competitors. Okay. Next is, what will the market bear? Because once you know what your competition is charging, try to understand how much can you get. Okay. If you charge a premium, or if you have a premium product, and a lot of people choose to offer something that's more than what the franchises can offer. And in that particular case, do you want to charge the same as the franchises, or do you want to charge more? And that gets into how you're going to position your company in the marketplace. Are you just another cleaning service, or do you offer a premium product? Okay. Either one is fine. And you just need to understand where you're at. Some people like to specialize in large homes or luxury homes. Others say, I just want the meat and potatoes, just what the regular houses are in my area, because there's a lot of them and there's plenty of business for everybody. So you just need to understand how you're going to position your company in the market. Next is, how much do you pay your employees? Okay. If you basically pay what you need to pay to hire people, that's going to put you on the lower end of the hourly rate that you need to charge. If you say, hey, I want all of my people to have a livable wage, I want them to have health insurance, I'm going to give them free dental care, then you're obviously going to have to charge more. So you're going to be on the higher end of what the market will bear. So all of those are, there is no correct answer here. They're all good answers, but you need to understand that when you develop your hourly rate. And then next is, what is your marketing strategy right now? Are you trying to grow the business? In which case you may want to be more aggressive and have competitively priced, prices for your packages. Or are you just more interested in profit right now because your business has grown, it's matured, and you just you're able to charge a higher rate because you're more well known in the area, and you have a waiting list of 10 people, so you're able to charge whatever you want to charge. So again, none of these are wrong. It's just, where is your company at right now in the growth versus profit spectrum. And then lastly is, how much overhead do you have? If you're starting this business and you're going to be a part-time owner, so you're going to have a full-time staff manning the office, answering the phones, obviously you're going to have to charge more than someone who is working from their home and they're doing their solo cleaner. Okay. Doesn't mean they have to be charged on the lower end, but they could if that's how they decide they want to price it. So like I said, there is no wrong answers here. It's just work that you have to go through to determine, what's your hourly rate that you want to charge in your business. The next thing is, and this is a little bit harder to understand, is how many square feet can you clean per hour? Now I say it's harder, but really it's something that you can go out and develop yourself pretty easily. Okay. Now, the first thing is, don't guess at this. Don't guess that you clean at 500 square foot per hour or whatever, because you either have the actual data from jobs that you're doing today, or you can go out and get it pretty easily. Okay. Now, if you know how long it's taking you to clean what I would call your average homes, then we'll use that data. If you don't, then find 8 or 10 or 20 homes that you do clean on, that are homes that you're happy with. They're not homes that have a lot of clutter. They're just your average home, and time how long that takes for you to clean the house. Okay. Now, what we're looking at here is total man hours. Okay. Now, what's the difference between man hours and total hours to clean? So if you're a 2-man team and it takes you 3 hours to clean a house, that's 6 man hours, because 3 man hours or 3 hours times 2 people is 6. Okay. And you're going to want to understand the total man hours when you go in and figure out how many square feet you can clean in an hour. Okay. Now I'm going to give you an example here. It's a very simple example. 2,100 square foot house takes 2 cleaners an hour and a half to clean. So how many man hours is that? 2 cleaners times 1.5 hours is 3 man hours. Okay. So if it's a 2,100 square foot house, we're going to divide that by the number of man hours it takes, and that equals 700 square feet per hour. So that's the number we're going to use in our example. So 2,100, which is the square footage, divided by the man hours, 3, is 700 square foot per hour. Okay? And we've got some more examples to go through if you didn't catch that the first time. Next thing is, what's your pricing strategy for recurring cleanings? Now, we try to push everybody we can into bi-weekly cleaning service. Okay, we have weeklies, but we also have some monthlies, and we're in a market that's not what I would say overly luxurious, or we have a lot of people who are just working folks that have a cleaning service. So they need to have a monthly service for budgeting purposes. So 80% of our clients are biweekly. It's what we prefer. If you want to be weekly, we can work with that. We will give you a small discount. We give you a 5% discount for weekly cleanings. And monthly, because we know we need to offer that as a product, we price those at 50% more than biweekly. Now, this is important because we're going to use this to calculate our prices, because what we're going to do is we're going to do the math to figure out what our biweekly price is, and then we're going to discount it for weeklies, and we're going to multiply it by 50% to get our monthly price, okay? But you have to decide how you want to do this, because some people just do a small upcharge for monthly. Sort of my criteria there is, I want my monthlies to be very profitable, because they do mess up your schedule a little bit. Also, I want to charge more for monthly, because I really, at the end of the day, would like people to be biweekly. So I don't want the monthly to be so cheap that they wouldn't want to go to biweekly service. Okay, so that's how we price it, and that's one of the things that you need to do to develop a pricing strategy. The next thing is, what types of one-time cleanings do you offer? And a lot of people just say, I have one. I just do deep cleaning or spring cleans, and that's fine. We offer 2, and they're pretty much the same for one-times or move-in and move-outs, okay? And the primary difference between a move-in, move-out and a one-time is that on the move-in, move-outs, we clean the inside of the cabinets, so the drawers and the cabinet shelves, because there's nothing in there, so we can clean them. Now, we offer a basic one-time and a basic move-in and move-out cleaning. And it's basically what we do in our normal recurring cleaning. So we're just going to dust the windowsills, dust the door frames and the doors. We're going to dust the baseboards. So that's more like a recurring cleaning, but we're doing it one time in your house. Okay. And then our deep cleaning, we treat the woodwork differently. So we hand wash the baseboards. We hand wash the cabinet fronts. We hand wash the windowsills and the window trim and the door trim. So that's the difference in how the job, and we price those based on how long it takes. And I'm going to walk you through that. But you need to decide what types of one-time cleanings do you want to offer, okay? Because we're going to have to develop a pricing model that incorporates that. So now that you know what we offer, let me walk you through how we calculate our pricing. And one of the things you're going to say is, man, that's really simple. I wonder if it works. We've been doing this for many, many years now. I've taught other people how to do it, and they love it. So it's a great way to have a simple pricing strategy that can be used over the phone. It can be used on your website. It can be used in person if you still need to go out and do in-person estimate. But you'll get an accurate price every time, and it's something that no matter who does the pricing, the customer is going to get the same price every time. Okay, so those are all really important parts if you're going to have a pricing system. So number one, we're going to look at the square footage of our home. Okay, and again, if the customer doesn't know it, we may check Zillow.com, or we may check it no matter what while we're on the phone with them. And in this particular case, we find that we have a 2,100 square foot home. We also gather data like, how many bedrooms, how many baths, but we want to gather that data for us. And also we may ask a few more questions like how many pets they have, things like that, because we'll use that to say, maybe you don't want to be a monthly client. Maybe you want to be biweekly because you have a dog that sheds a lot. So we use all of that in the sales process. But from a pricing standpoint, I'm just interested in how many square feet does the home have. The next thing is I'm going to use that square foot clean per hour number that I've come up with a while ago. So we clean 700 square feet per hour. And lastly, I'm going to use the hourly rate. And in this example, to keep everything simple, we're going to use $40 per hour. Okay. So once you see this calculation, you're going to be like, man, that's easy. Like most complicated, magic tricks, at the end, it's pretty simple how it's done. And I think it's really going to help you simplify your business. So we're going to take a 2,100 square foot house. We're going to divide it by 700. And that gives us 3 hours. Okay, so that's 3 man hours. So if I send a solo cleaner there, it's going to take them 3 hours. If I send 2 cleaners, it's going to take them an hour and a half. If I send 3 cleaners, it's going to take them an hour. Okay, that's what we're going to budget for this. So 2,100 square feet minus 700 square feet cleaned per hour is 3 hours. Then I'm just going to multiply that by our hourly rate, which is $40. Okay. So 3 hours times $40 is $120, and that's my flat rate biweekly price. Okay. Now, if you like to do hourly pricing, you certainly can do this. This will give you a good estimate. But we're able to do flat rate pricing like this, all on the phone. And actually, most of the quotes that we give are on our website. We rarely give a quote over the phone anymore because we have a really good tool on our website that does all of our pricing for us. So in this example, 2,100 square foot house, 700 square feet per hour, 3 man hours times $40, $120 is our biweekly price. Now, here's the rest of the magic. Once we know the biweekly price, then we can calculate the rest of it. Okay. So we know for weekly, we're going to give them a 5% discount because it takes a little bit less, but also that's a good customer. That's somebody who's going to spend a lot of money with us. So it's $114 for weekly, which is just 5% times 120. That's $6 off as a discount. So it's $114. Now, if my minimum charge was 120, it's still going to be 120 for weekly as well. Okay, so that's how we do that. Next is the monthly charge. Now, for the monthly charge, we're going to charge 50% more. Okay, so the math on that is multiply $120 times 1.5, and that'll give you 50% in addition to the 120, which is $180. Okay, so customer that's biweekly is going to pay $120 per cleaning or $240 per month. If they're monthly, they're going to pay $180 for that one-time monthly cleaning. Okay, so you can see there's a little bit of an incentive there. Just for $60 more, they can get their house cleaned twice as much. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do is we're trying to push people to be bi-weekly customers. Okay, so next is our one-time pricing. And again, it's all still based off that bi-weekly pricing that we developed. Okay, so for our one-time regulars, which means we just dust the home, we don't do a deep clean, we charge 1.5 times the biweekly rate. Now, you've seen this before. That's the same as our monthly rate. So we charge $180 for that. If they want a deep clean on one-time cleaning, then we charge 2 times the biweekly rate. Okay. In this example, our biweekly rate's $120, so double that, and it's $240. Now, what about move-outs? Move-outs tend to take a little bit longer. because, the furniture hasn't been moved in a long time. There's a lot of dust. There's a lot of things to clean behind that now are moved. So we charge more for that. And the way that we do that is it's 2.5 times the biweekly rate. Okay. So we take our biweekly rate of $120, we multiply it by 2.5, and that gives us, for our move out clean, for our regular cleaning, $300. Now for our move out deep clean, which means we're going to hand wash all the woodwork in the home, it takes longer. So we're going to charge 3 times our biweekly rate, or $360. Okay. So you can see how all of this is based on the biweekly rate. So it's important to understand that square footage per hour, because you're going to use that number for all of these, and you're going to be multiplying against it. So if you've made an error there, it's going to get worse as you go up to your larger cleans. Now I can hear it right now. I hear it. People are saying, yeah, but what if I get there and the house is a disaster? Well, we have those too, not too many, but we do have them too. And this is how we protect ourselves. Okay. So we include this on all of our quotes, whether we're talking to you on the phone or you get it through our website. And this is just a simple line. Quoted prices assume a home with average size rooms in average condition. Extra hours, if needed, are going to be priced at $50 per hour. Okay. Now, how does that work in reality? Okay. So let's say you go to a house, it doesn't look that bad, but you get into it and you start going, oh man, this house is really dusty. How many times has that happened, right? So what we do is at half in on that first time clean, we stop and we sort of take an assessment of where we're at, how long we've cleaned, how much more we have, where we're at in the home. And if it looks like it's going to take longer, that's the time to talk to the customer, okay? Don't wait until you're at the end and you need 2 more hours and you're going to have to go ask the customer for an extra $100. They're not going to want to give it to you, okay? They may not have it. But if you talk to them early, so, halfway into the house, into the cleaning, and say, hey, Mr. Customer, I know I told you it was $300. That was your quote. It is taking us a little bit longer. Your house is very dusty. I'm sure you know that already. Which is fine. We don't mind cleaning dusty homes. We have the tools for it, and we're prepared to do that, and we've been doing that already. It is going to take us a little bit longer. It's going to take us 2 additional hours. So instead of it being $300, it's going to be $400. Is it okay to proceed? Okay. We like to get that in writing, so we like them to text us that it's approved to go ahead and do that work, and that way we have it. And if you have it in writing, you don't have a lot of problems. But anyway, if you do it early on and you've set the expectation from the beginning that if it's going to take longer, you're going to charge more, then you're protected. Okay. And you'll find that this works, 99% of the time. There's always that 1%, maybe it's a 0.5% of somebody who wants to try to get something, in on you. And you're going to have that customer, no matter how you did your pricing. And the one I'm talking about, you get a couple of them a year. But this will work almost every time and you won't have any issues. The other thing is sometimes you'll get into a house and you'll find that it's going quicker than your estimate. Okay. Well, we do flat pricing. So if we told you it was going to be $300 to clean your house and it looks like it's only going to take 4 hours, then we just made $75 an hour. Okay. So, because that's the price the customer agreed to. So that's the way that we do it. It's flat rate pricing, and it allows us to really maximize our hourly rate, that we can charge, and at the same time be competitive. Okay. Now, I've developed a tool. It's a free pricing calculator. It's actually a spreadsheet that you can download. And to make it easy to get, I've put it on my Facebook group, which is called the High Tech House Cleaner. And here's the address to get to it. So you just go to Facebook groups, High Tech House Cleaner, all one word. And it's a calculator spreadsheet that you can download. You'll input your square feet that you can clean per hour. You'll have to go calculate it. I can't do it for you. And you'll also put in what your hourly rate is. And some people like to charge more for their one-time cleans than they do the recurring cleans. And so I've made it so that you can do that. But then it will give you all these prices. Okay. So this is something that you can download for free. Just come over to my Facebook group, High Tech House Cleaner. I also have another video there that shows you how to use the spreadsheet. So shouldn't be any questions. I hope that you find this useful and that you are able to use this to scale your business, to get bigger, and to have the most successful year that you've ever had, and also the most profitable. So I appreciate your time as always. Again, thanks to the folks at ZenMaid for putting on the Maid Summit. We really appreciate you doing this for our industry, and thank you for listening to me today. Bye-bye.